Hey guys, what's up? I'm Ashley. Thank you for watching this video. Today we're going to be talking about Cruel Summer episode 9. But first, like this video, leave a comment down below letting me know your theories and what you thought about this episode. And subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And with that being said, let's get right to it. Kate really stayed in the house for 119 days without trying to escape. And Martin locked this girl in the basement on Christmas Day out of all days. I can't really say I'm surprised though. He really manipulated that girl. But this episode took place in the fall of 93 and 94. And in 94, we see her talking to her therapist. In 93, we got to really see what happened from day one up until 119 days of her being in the house. You know, night one, they was just talking a little bit. Kate was telling him how she feels lonely at home and in her life. And he was like, "You're not alone. I'm here for you." And then we see him tucking her into bed. And then we go to 94 where we see her talking to her therapist. And her therapist was letting her know that he was grooming her the whole time. Their victims, and he saw that you had no one to confide in. So he made it, making her feel like he's saving her, but really he's a predator. She told Kate that a groomer isolates their victims, and he saw that you had no one to confide in, so he made it so that he was the only person that you could confide in. But she did end up telling her therapist that she wasn't always locked in the basement. On day 2, we see her waking up in the morning on the couch that he tucked her in on, and she was snooping around the house, and she made her way down to the basement, not knowing that that was going to be her home for a long time. So she was like walking around, smiling, having a good old time, and then, you know, she walks back upstairs to go back inside of the house, and then that's when she sees Martin, and she was like, "Oh, I was looking for you." Then they're in the kitchen eating breakfast, and Martin's like, "I have to leave for work early today because we have a staff meeting, but do you think that you can manage to walk to school on your own?" And Kate's like, "Yeah, I can do that." And then she goes on to say, you know, "Thank you, Martin, for listening to me." And then that's when Martin's like, "I appreciate our friendship, and I've never connected like this with a student before, but call me Mr. Martin, at least when we're at school." And I'm watching this like, look at this man playing this game. He know he really want her to call him daddy, but okay. And that's when he leaves to go to work. And then that's when we got to see that Mallory was recording him at that time when he was walking out the house and he did that awkward little trip and Kate was standing in the window. So as soon as he left, Kate was snooping around the house again, all up in his closet, trying on his clothes. And then she tried to be cute and surprise him with the frozen pizza in the oven, but she burned it. She out here wasting pizza. And then Martin's all like, "Why weren't you in school today? Your mom came and spoke to me about you not being there. I could lose my job, or even worse, if they found out that you've been here." She was all like, "I didn't know what I was going to say to people when they asked me where I've been. I'm a horrible liar. I need your help because I'm not a good liar." And then the phone rings and they let Martin know that Kate is officially a missing person. Kate's like, "Well, I can fix all this. I can just go home." And Martin's like, "No, you've been here for 24 hours. I told your mom I didn't know where you were at. Like, I can get in trouble. Let me figure this out." And he pours him a drink in her one, hands it to her, and then he was like, "Oh, don't drink that. I forgot you were underage." Liar. He know how old this girl was. He ain't never forgot. He been thinking about it, dreaming about it, wet about it. Meanwhile, her parents are freaking out. They can't believe that Kate's been gone this long overnight. And her mom's like, "Well, I'm sure she'll show up to her first day of school. She won't miss school. And wherever she is, I'm sure she's in a safe place." And the dad's like, "Do you want to call the police?" And she was like, "And have them think that our daughter is a troublemaker?" Like, "No, we'll just wait. You know, she'll show up." And as we all know, she did not. So anyway, that night, Kate and Martin are drinking and they're playing Never Have I Ever, and they're flirting with each other, giving each other the eyes and whatnot. She's like, "How old are you?" And he's like, "How old do you think I am?" And she's like, "Old enough to be very wise." Then she was all like, "You have to think I'm wise beyond my years as well, because When you first saw me, you thought I was an adult. Then the predator was like, have you ever kissed anyone older? And so Kate takes a drink because she was like, Jamie's 6 months older. And then he's like, no, significantly older. She said, no. Are you daring me? And he said, no. Knowing he wanted it right then and there. But then we see Kate seeming a little sympathetic towards Martin, telling her therapist, he's kept me sane. He liked me for me. And I'm like, when? On day 119? But on day 21, this girl is all smiles. They running around the house playing tag, and they're kissing now, looking into each other's eyes. And on like day 30, she's talking about moving far away, like to Bora Bora or Morocco. And by now, you can tell that he's totally taking advantage of this girl. Like, that they've had sex at this point. Like, he's all on top of her on the bed. Day 34, they're cuddled all on the couch talking about age differences. And then that's when they get a knock on the door. And it's Greg Turner. He got a flat and he needs to use Martin's phone. And Martin doesn't want to let him in. Martin's talking about, I'm sick. And that the house looks a mess. And Greg was like, that's okay. I won't look. I just need to call my wife. And he was like, the phone doesn't work. Greg said, there's a dial tone. Kate was hiding in the closet. Martin pushed this girl in the closet so fast. But Greg was like, oh, I'm sorry. Am I interrupting something? Because he saw 2 coffee cups. And Martin was like, oh, no, they're both mine. One from last night. And, I'm just lazy at cleaning up. So he could have gotten caught then. That was kind of close. Halloween came and Kate wants to hand out candy. And Martin said no. She was like, I can wear a mask. He said, they're going to be curious to know who's underneath that mask. Kate is curious to know if the cops are still coming up to the school asking for her. And Martin said, no, they think that you ran away out of town. Kate's therapist asked her, what kept you from walking out the door? And Kate said, he made it clear that I had to choose between him and the outside world. And I chose him for a long time. And you can tell around this time that she was getting a little tired of being in that house with him, because she asked him on Halloween, she was like, when does this end? And he's like, what, this movie? And she was like, no, like, when does our bubble end? By day 89, it's Thanksgiving and she's homesick. She's sad and she's telling Martin that she misses the sun on her skin. She misses the mall. She misses soft pretzels at the mall. And she was asking him if he's seen her parents around, and he was like, I've been busy with work. And he out here putting apples in the stuffing, and she was like surprised by that. She was like, ooh, I wasn't expecting apples in the stuffing. And he was a little offended for a little bit, but he was like, we can start making our own family recipes. And this is where the snow globe comes into place, because since Kate said that she misses soft pretzels, Martin went to the mall to get her a soft pretzel and to do some more Christmas shopping. So while he was out at the mall, Jeanette saw him at the mall. So she was like, ooh, I can go sneak in his house. So she went to his house, snuck in his house. But before she snuck in the house, Kate called Jamie. And while she was letting the phone ring, the answer machine picked up and she was playing the music from the snow globe. So that's what Jamie was talking about when he said, he got this voicemail message and it was just music playing in the background. And when he played the message for Jeanette, she recognized the music because when she broke into the house, she picked up the snow globe, thought it was cool, and, was playing with it. So she remembered the music. That's why she went over to Mallory's house and asked her for the snow globe. So Jeanette breaks into the house, right? Well, she got a key. She used the key, went up in there, and Kate ran and hid upstairs, and she saw that it was Jeanette in the house. And Jeanette heard that somebody else was in the house, so she got freaked out and left. And while she was leaving, her necklace fell off. And so when she finally left, Kate went down the stairs and knew that it was Jeanette because of her necklace. I think Kate saw Jeanette and confirmed it with that necklace. But I don't think Jeanette saw Kate. Kate would not let herself be seen. And she's been saying the whole series that she's a bad liar. She just told Martin in this episode she's a bad liar. She's been telling people she's a bad liar. So I think she was just trying to blame it on Jeanette. She was like, Jeanette saw me, but really she saw Jeanette. Jeanette didn't see her. So that night, Kate snuck out and she went to her house where she should be living at. And when she got there, she saw her parents laughing through the window. So she thought that her parents didn't miss her, but it was just a few seconds of them laughing. But they was really missing her at the time, because after they was laughing briefly, they was like basically crying. Then so she went back to Martin's house and snuck in the bed, but Martin knew that she had snuck out because his creep eyes opened up. So he let almost the whole day go by. Christmas morning came. He gave her her present. She opened him up, and she had like a pearl necklace and all that. And then later on, he was like, at dinner, he said, "You seem a lot better." And she was like, "Yeah, it's Christmas." And he was like, "Are you feeling guilty about sneaking out?" Kate said, "Don't be mad." And he was like, "I'll decide when I'm going to be mad or not. Where'd you go?" And she was like, "Home." And he was like, "You live here." She told her therapist that that night was the first time that she was truly afraid of him. And she said that's because he ran out of ways to manipulate you. So Kate was fed up. She was like, "I want to go home. Give me my suitcase. Where's my suitcase at?" And he was like, "In the basement." So she walked down to the basement to go get her suitcase. And guess what? It wasn't there. And so he locked her in the basement. She was screaming, "Let me out," but he turned on some Christmas music to drown her out. So that was day 119. She was fed up. And that's technically the day that she found out that she was kidnapped. She'd been kidnapped, but that's the day she realized it. So let me know what you thought about this episode. We only have one more left. And I'm thinking that Annabelle is a gun. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know who you think Annabelle is. Like this video. Leave a comment and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.